it's Leanne with Lovely Scrappin', and I'm back with another design team project for I Am Roses. So I've created a circle shadow box easel card. I've done one previously. It was Halloween themed, and I had a lot of requests to do a tutorial. So I did do a start to finish tutorial on this card. It's going to be a two-parter video. So this part here is going to be me discussing the basic overview of the card, and then I'm going to be showing the clips I've put together that shows me creating the basic structure of this circle shadow box easel card. And then part two is going to be me just embellishing the card. So you guys can watch one part, two parts, both, whichever you want. So let's just get started quickly. I'm not going to go in a lot of detail because part two is going to describe all of the details that I've done to this card. But it is made using the Graphic 45 Little Darlings paper collection. I absolutely love this collection, and it was so much fun to create with. And this is for my little baby nephew who was born recently, so I'll be sending this overseas to my sissy. And so yeah, I've pretty much, this is what it looks like. The pictures will hopefully do better justice to it when I post those, but you can see the shadow box portion inside there. Trim all along the sides, and then the base looks like this. And then you close it and the back looks like this. So of course when it's sitting up on the table, looks like that from the side. The back is just plain. I was going to put paper on here, but then I decided not to. I still might. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to finish things off, so it's just me being a little bit OCD. But anyways, I'll probably finish it off. So anyways, this is the card, you guys. Super fun. I've used lots of fun I Am Roses here. I've used some crystal sprays, wheat sprays, Martha Stewart butterfly punch out of the paper collection. I fussy cut this out. Lots of cheesecloth poking out everywhere. I just sprayed this seam binding with the, what is it, seagrass green? What is it? Yes, seagrass green from Lindy's. The Lindy's Nantucket Pearl collection is perfect for this paper collection, you guys. Oh, it's just amazing. So the green goes really well. Another Martha Stewart butterfly there. This is a beautiful center I got from Joy in Iraq a while ago. Thanks so much, Joy. And then this beautiful trim is from my winnings from A Thing for Bling, and I knew as soon as I saw this that I was going to use it as a banner. It's little hearts, but it just looks so cool, and I thought it would be perfect there. So I did dye it with, what is it, Clam Bake Beige Lindy spray to just tone down the white of it. It was sort of an afterthought. You'll see me doing that in the video. And then I took some stickers and spelled out baby, and then put some flat back pearls here. Inside is some Chinese braid, lining the entire inside. This is a sticker from the Little Darlings collection. I put it on chipboard, distressed the edges, painted the edges with white acrylic paint, and put on some pop dots to make it a bit more dimensional in there. And yes, this is a clothespin. I just attached 3 pear charms, and it just symbolizes my sister, her husband, and their baby. Their last name is Hruska in Czech Republic, and in English that means pear. I've mentioned it before. It's so funny. They've gone with the pear theme through the wedding, and then they've just recently welcomed baby pear, they call him. So little Mathieu, he's such a sweetheart. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I've added the 3 pairs there. I kind of touched everything with a bit of acrylic paint to just sort of white acrylic paint to tone it down a little bit. And then I just took this sticker, Little Darlings, and put it on some blue cardstock to stress the edges, dabbed a little bit of paint over that as well. Again, another Martha Stewart punched butterfly. And again, this is some beautiful trim that I won from One Craft Cottage a while back. And I actually, you'll see in the video, I toned it down with white acrylic paint because it was a little bit brighter of a blue. And I just wanted it to match really well. And this here was a white R21 from I Am Roses, and I sprayed it again with the seagrass green from Lindy's. And then when you open it up, I've done a lot of matting here with my circle cutter. Fussy cut this here, and it says, for baby presented to, and I'll put his name, and I'll put from me, Auntie, and the bishops. And then some more I Am Roses here. And then this was a sticker. I put it on some chipboard, tied some string there, put another clothespin there, and have cheesecloth poking out there. So that's pretty much what I've done. The back is just more matting of the circles in the paper and put my stamp on the back. So super fun, you guys. So anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoy the following tutorials that I've put together. Don't forget to check out the description box down below for part 2 of this card where I'm embellishing it. Also, don't forget to check out the I Am Roses website for all those fabulous products, and then check out my blog for direct links to the I Am Roses products that I've used in this card. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorials. Take care. Bye now. Hey guys, okay, so just to kind of give you just an overview of what we're going to be making for the base of this Shadow Box Circle Easel card is you're going to need 2 strips of 1 inch by 11. One can be slightly shorter, but just for the sake of this tutorial, just if you get 2, it's easier, and I'll show you. We're going to be cutting one of them down. You're going to make this is going to be 5 inches, okay, and I'll show you how I cut that. So it's going to be 5 inches scored in half here, okay, for part of the easel. And then you're going to need a 5-inch circle, and that piece is going to go on top of that. And then you're going to need a 5-inch circle ring with the 3 5/8 circle cutout, okay? And I'll show you how I've done that as well. And that will be the base, and then you are probably going to want to get designer paper of your choice in a 5-inch circle, and designer paper of your choice in this ring, same measurements, okay? And that's to cover up the base. And then of course, you know, cover up here with whatever paper you want, here with whatever paper you want. That's totally up to you. Alright, so let's get going. I'll show you how I've done some of these cuts, and also how I've done this, and to make it look like these. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make our easel card base. So you're just going to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in the cardstock color of your choice. This is just cream color. Sorry about the horrible lighting. I've got lots of sunshine coming through and I got to close my blinds. So I'm just going to fold this in half first. And then I'm just going to put the folded end upward and the open end downward, okay? And I'm just going to tape my corners because the circle cutter I'm using, it just really helps to tape down your corner so the paper is not going to move or shift around. So now I'm going to take my circle cutter. I'm going to be making this a 5-inch circle, so I'm going to find my 5-inch mark, which is right here. And I'm going to put it down on the paper, and I'm just sort of going to move it around and see whereabouts it will cut. So it's going to leave about 1.5 inches of uncut paper up here, which is what we want because we want it to stay folded so it'll open up and close, okay? Because you don't want to cut completely through, otherwise you won't have a card. So you need to keep a little bit of space there. So because I'm cutting through 2 pieces of paper, it's a little bit difficult. It's very, very finicky. I've went through numerous paper sheets of paper the first time I did this with my card, my first card. But let's just wing. If I don't cut all the way through, I'll just cut the rest with my scissors. But you just want to make sure that you press good and hard and that your paper does not shift. I think that was a good one. And I'll just take it off, and whatever wasn't cut, I will just cut with my scissors. So it's not fully cut through, which is fine. Alright, so I'm just going to cut along the line that's already there. You can always like draw a circle and freehand it too, you guys, if you don't have a circle cutter. So just find something that's the circle size you want, like a lid of some sort. Draw it just slightly off the paper like this and just freehand it. It's just another way you can do it if this is too finicky for you. There you go. So there's the base of the card, and it will open up like that, okay? Alright, so let's move on to the next piece. Alright, so you got another 8.5 by 11. I already cut out one 5-inch circle, and now with this one, I'm going to do a 5-inch circle, and then on the inside, it's going to be 3 5/8, okay? So let me just show you how I'm going to do this. First thing I'm going to do, of course, is tape it down. So the first thing you're going to want to do, and it's so important not to move this when you're cutting this out, is do the 3 5/8 first. Okay, so find your 3 5/8. Okay, and then you're going to want to cut out the 3 5/8, and don't move this after you're done cutting. So you're going to do the 3 5/8 first. Okay, and now I'm going to find my 5 inches, find my 5 inches, and cut that one. So you should get a ring, and one didn't cut through quite enough, but that's okay. What I do is just take my scissors and cut it. You can kind of see the line that this was on. Didn't quite press down hard enough, but that's okay. Okay, so you're going to get a nice ring like this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just put my paper. This is 11 inches down lengthwise, so I'm going to score at 1/4 of an inch first, or 1/4 of an inch, sorry, and then I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch, and then at 1 inch. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just cut along that last score line I made. It's just sort of a guide. So just cutting along that last one right here. I just like to do the scoring when it's a bigger sheet because it's so finicky trying to put a little tiny piece of strip down and do the scoring. So by scoring it when it's still attached, it's a little bit easier. So that way I've got this, and then I just sort of, you know, reinforce that fold a little bit. So that then you have what looks like this. So now you're just going to take your scissors, and as you can see where that score line starts, you're just going to make some snips, and don't hit the score line, but just go to it and make a bunch of snips, approximately, I don't know, 1/4 an inch or a little bit more, all the way down on both sides, okay? Just going to go all the way down. Okay, and then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So then you're going to have 2 strips because you're going to do this twice, okay? And this one here, you can see it's got some curvature to it. So all I did was I just take my thumb and then I just pull it down like that, and it just gives it a bit of a curvature because it is going to be pretty much like this. This is going to be the spine, if you guys can get the idea of what's happening. This is going to be along the spine of the circle, and we did 2 because one won't be long enough to fully cover it. So then the other one, you'll just trim it to as you need, and you'll see me do that in a bit here. So the one thing that you can do that's really quick and easy is you just open up the card, and you're going to want to fold this part in half. But you do want to make sure that this fold line and the fold line that you're about to do is parallel to each other. All I'm going to do is sort of line that up with this line, and that'll kind of give me an idea when I'm folding it to sort of follow along another line, see? So I'm going to want to sort of make it about like that. That looks pretty even. Should be good. So now all that is going to do, when you take your 5-inch circle here and you line this all up nicely, what you'll do is you'll put adhesive right here. You'll put this down, and then what you'll get is the easel portion, okay? So this won't be adhered, and it'll be able to come up and pop up like that, okay? But I don't adhere quite yet. I like to adhere this part once I've built up the shadow box, and then I'll adhere it down onto here, okay? So now let's get to this portion where you've got the ring, and I'm actually going to get rid of my cutting mat now. And you've got these. So what you're going to be doing is taking this piece here, and we're going to be lining it up with the edge here and going completely around in a circle. Okay, so this part here is going to be glued down onto here. Now it's your choice as to what adhesive you'd like to use. I used a wet adhesive last time and it was just so finicky. I think I'm going to use little bits of hot glue this time because it dries a lot faster, and if I just do little pieces at a time, it should go a little bit more smoothly. So I'm going to test out the hot glue this time. Okay, you guys, so we're going to start gluing these on. So what I do is I glue it to the outer part of the circle, and I, like I mentioned, I'm going to try using some hot glue this time. But again, you can use whatever glue you want, but just remember you have to be able to keep it down until it's set, otherwise it'll pop off because of the curvature of the paper. Okay, so hopefully you guys can make this out okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just do little bits of hot glue at a time. So you guys can see what's happening here. I apologize about this horrible lighting, but as you can see, I'm just making that, gluing that all along the edge. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do that all along until I get to the end, and then I'll come back so you guys don't have to watch the entire process, and then I'll show you how I join the other piece on. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so now that you're at the end, so you have what looks like this so far, glued it all along there, inside. So now you're just going to take your second piece and just sort of overlap one of them, kind of get an idea how much you need, and then you can just kind of cut it off. So I'm going to cut it off approximately there, and then you're just going to keep this piece here, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So all I'm going to do, just take that, I'm just going to put a little glue on the inside here too, just to connect them. And again, this part will get covered with trim or paper or whatever you decide to do. Okay, and then I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing before. Finish gluing down the rest of this. So there's some extra here, so I'm just going to cut off a little bit. Just about right where that mark is. Okay, so now you've got that part done. Okay, so you've got what looks like this. I know it looks rough right now, you guys, but it will look nice in the end. Okay, so now you're going to want to do the inside one. So when I mentioned earlier too, you actually need 3 of these, okay, you guys? But the only thing that's different with this third one is you're going to, instead of curving it like inward, you're going to just curve it outward. Okay, and so it'll kind of look like this as you're starting to go along in the inside. Now this part's a little bit more difficult because now you've got this here in the way, so it can be a little bit more difficult. You could do the inner one first if you prefer. It's totally up to you guys. But again, I'm just going to go along here. I'm probably going to start, because we did save this other piece, because this isn't going to, because it's 11 inches, it's not going to be quite long enough to complete the circle on the inside for this size of card anyway. A 12-inch one might, but anyways, I saved this piece because I'll probably be using a little bit of it to complete the inner part. And again, the seams will get covered, but I'm just going to, because I have my creases here and here, I'm going to start it in here. just going to put a little bit of glue there to start it out. Just put it up nice and close to the edge. Essentially, this is what it's starting to look like. So you've got this part closed in and this part closed in. So you've got a nice circle shadow box starting. Okay. This is what I meant by finicky, you guys, if you have the patience to do this. Secretly, I was hoping you guys didn't want a tutorial. But a lot of you asked for it, so here it is. I don't mind, really. It's just showing you guys how finicky this is. Okay, so I'm going to stop now, and then I'll just go to the end of this, and I'll come back to show you how I finished it off. Okay, guys, so once all of the 11-inch cardstock that I had, the 11 by 1 inch, was glued, there's that little tiny gap. So obviously, if you used a 12-inch one, I don't have any of this same cardstock in 12 inches, unfortunately. So I'm just going to have to patch it up with this little extra piece. Okay, so if you have a 12-inch, that should meet up nicely. But again, I don't mind using this little bit here because I'm going to be lining this entire inside with either designer paper or trim, most likely trim. So I'm just going to take a little bit from it and just close up this little teeny gap here. It's probably like ½ an inch. I'm just going to kind of give this a little bit of a bend, so it's just going to slip in nicely in here, and I'm going to try and put these straight up so I can slide it in there nicely. So just go like that. I'm just going to put glue on this to make it easier. So when it's all said and done, this is what it looks like. You've got this with the inner walls here, the outer walls, and this part is going to get adhered down. Remember I said we've got this here that we folded for the easel, and then your 5-inch circle. This part is going to get adhered down to the 5-inch circle, okay, you guys? So that'll be all nicely lined up and everything. But before I do that, I do want to put some designer paper in here first. Okay guys, so I cut out my designer paper that I want to put in here at 4-inch in diameter, because remember this is 3 5/8 inch, so I just want it to be a little bit bigger so that when I put this down, it will it'll be nice and smooth, seamless in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put some liquid glue down. And this is the Graphic 45 Little Darlings paper, in case you're wondering. Now I've got this here, and I'm going to have it so this seam part here where I connected, it's just, well, it doesn't really matter where, but my bees are facing this way, so this is going to be the bottom of the card here. So all I'm going to do is just carefully adhere this down, and I think I'm going to be using a wet glue. I don't want to use hot glue because I'm going to want to be able to adjust it a little bit to make it so it's nice and round in the inside. So I'm going to use one of my favorite adhesives, and that's Glossy Accents, because it holds amazingly and it dries fairly quickly if you have it nice and thin. If the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to dry. You just want to be careful. You don't want any seepage happening, otherwise it'll have glossy pieces. I think I'm going to do glossy accents on the outer edge here, and then I'm going to do glossy accents on here, because it's easier to do it on the paper. And then I'm going to be putting some, just not too close to the edge because I don't want it seeping, but just some along here. Okay, so now I'm going to place it down carefully. Trying to do this with a tripod. as I go, I'm just going to kind of press down lightly and try to make this so it's as round as possible. Cleaning up any spillage that might be happening with glossy accents. Okay guys, so once you have that all glued on, it might not be perfect here, but again, you guys, putting like some ruffle, you can trim it if you want, or just put ruffle trim or something nice and thick to cover that up. And again, like I mentioned, we're going to put some cardstock over the base of this, of whatever, or designer paper, sorry. And I've chosen this one to be on that outer portion of it. So what I'm going to do is actually cut it slightly bigger than this one, which is 5 inches by 3 5/8. So I'm going to cut this one slightly bigger. So that should be slightly bigger, and it'll fit nicely on top of that. Okay, you guys? So I think what I'm going to do, you guys, before I glue it down, is I think I'm going to just distress it a little bit with my Tim Holtz distressor. Just taking my fingers and distressing it a little more. Okay, you guys, so far that is what it's looking like, okay? So you can see how it's starting to come together. It may look a little bit sloppy here right now, but it's going to come together nicely once you embellish it and everything. And, you know, however you like to embellish it. Again, I like to put some trim along here. Like the first card I did ruffle trim. I like the way that one looked. So I'm going to have a look in my stash and go from there. I'll make this a two-parter, so the decorating of this card will be on another video. This is just the construction of the actual Shadowbox easel, so if you're interested in watching me you know, embellish it, then you can go ahead and watch part 2 of this tutorial. But right now, let's just finish this basic piece off, and we'll just adhere this part down onto here. So the easiest way to do it is to just put adhesive on here, just on this bottom half, okay, so not on this part, just on this part. You can use score tape too, you guys don't have to use glossy accents, this is just my choice that I like to use. Everybody has their favorites. Now you're just going to want to make sure you have it that way, and then again the bees are facing this way, so I'm going to want to make sure I'm lining it up nicely, and I'm just going to go like this. Okay, you guys, so that's adhered on there. So this is just the basic construction of the Shadowbox circle card easel. So once we get embellishing it, this will stay up nicely like that. Okay, so that's basically what it looks like. I'll post a link down below, you guys, to the part 2, which will be me embellishing this card. Okay, thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and be sure to watch part 2. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye now.